Right, so we killed Botanist. Eventually. Finally. Just about. So what we're looking to do this next reset is on Wednesday, try and get all the farm bosses done. This would be ideal. We've almost managed to do this. When we killed Tichondrius, the following reset, we killed all the farm bosses in one night and had a fair amount of time left over. When we killed Spellblade, and the reset just gone, we killed almost all of the farm bosses. We sort of should have had a L'Oreal, we didn't quite, but we one-shot her the following night on the Thursday, which gave us plenty of time on Botanist. And did we need it? So it's not impossible to do the same feat on Wednesday. I'm not saying I expect us to get all 7 farm bosses on Wednesday, but bear in mind we're not going to be doing a full heroic clear. Well, we're going to be just doing the last 2 bosses in heroic, and then we're going to be doing the other farm bosses. So it is possible, but okay, you know, Botanist may not die on Wednesday, but it would be nice. Now, we're going to be doing Star Augur. So when we do kill Botanist with the re-clear, we're going to be doing, re-clear, behave yourself, with the farm. We're going to be doing Star Augur. Now, I've already posted the few differences in it. I am yet again going to trust that you actually understand what the heroic mechanics are. Now, I did that with Botanist and it turned out not to be the wisest thing I've ever done. But can we just have a flick through the old raid journal and make sure that you familiarise yourself? Yes, you sort of know the fight. Some of you, the ones who can actually be bothered to move with mechanics. But do make sure you learn what they all do, because of course there's going to be some new mechanics. Now, when you look at Star Augur, when I look at it, when I look at people doing it, it doesn't look that hard. But at the same time, we know that this is the first real speed bump in Nighthold. So even though it's been nerfed, it's still taking guilds some considerable time. I mean, let's say we killed it on Thursday. Just mad thought there. We would jump up so many places. So we know that's not going to happen. We know that it's probably unrealistic, although it would be bloody nice, to kill it in this following reset. The one after is much more realistic. But in order to do that, in order to kill it more quickly than other people have, we're going to need to basically deal with some mechanics better than other guilds did when they first came to them. Now, top of the list has got to be Grand Conjunction. This is a mechanic that puts a star sign above your head, a constellation. Someone else in the raid will have an identical constellation. Other people in the raid will have different constellations. Now, what happens is this. If you bump into someone with a different constellation, boom. If you don't bump into the person with the same constellation, after 10 seconds, boom. If you bump into the person with the same constellation, well done. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, here is how it's supposed to look. Easy, Nespa. Or, like this. I think that's what's supposed to look like. If you look on the tactics forum, the post just above this one, Whale has put in a string for a weak aura. If you turn on friendly nameplates, Shift and V, then this should work to make it a little bit more visible. Hopefully that'll work. Here is the issue though. I strongly suspect that when we do it, it might look a little like this. Because we know what might happen if people don't have their focus facers on. Here's the thinking. Right, I need to bump into the person with the same constellation. Oh, but actually, if they bumped into me, I don't have to move anyway. If they just run to me, that'll do the same job. So I'll just carry on DPSing the boss, tunneling there, and I'll leave it to the other person. Other person has the same pathetic excuse for a thought in their head, and then after 10 seconds, boom. And you're about as popular as a fart in a wetsuit. So what needs to happen is something that hasn't been happening enough so far, and it has to happen. We are not going to kill this boss until this sort of attitude starts to be expressed by everyone in the raid. You need to actually go, oh, a mechanic. Let's forget about DPS and do the mechanic. And then when the mechanic's over, back to DPS. We've got to be able to do that really, really quickly. Yes, okay, there's going to be some cock-ups along the way. I'm looking at this fight and I'm thinking, how is this going to take us multiple raids to do? I don't know. There must be something, but we don't know until we actually try it out. Because actually, you look at the mechanics and you think, you could sort of understand it really tight DPS check. This is the first boss that's sort of tuned around the old 54 artifact traits, but it's been nerfed. So I'm not saying the DPS check will be easy, but it's certainly going to be within us. We actually are capable of doing very good DPS. Our output's pretty good. If only they would design a fight that was just a training dummy, we'd be brilliant. But the mechanics are not that difficult, but you still have to think, oh, a mechanic, need to deal with it. Okay? Now, I don't know how far we can realistically expect to get on Thursday with it. If we can get that down, surely that's going to be a big step up. However, then there is the other thing with the Shatter. This is a little bit different. It's the same mechanic that's on Heroic, but it leaves something behind. So it's very, very important. Like on Heroic, all you do is you just move away so that you're not overlapping anyone with it, with the radius. Now we have to move it well out of the way because it's going to leave an ice crystal behind, and this pulses around it, and it also stuns. So it pulses damage and stuns people. So you need to get it well out of the way, get it right to the edge whenever you've got that thing. Still the same sort of thing. We don't want to be overlapping people with that, but we also don't want to leave the ice crystal anywhere other than right at the edge where people are not reasonably going to go unless they're dropping off another one, and they're not going to go anywhere near it. It's got a 5-yard range, this pulse, so you can drop another one off near it. Just don't be within 5 yards of another one, and we should be good there. Now, in the next phase, the old fell phase, this looks to be the key phase and is the phase we're likely to heroism for. I'm certainly thinking of trying that in that phase at that time to try and get it out of the way as quickly as possible. I mean, on Heroic, it's the most awkward phase in many ways, but there's an extra little mechanic on this. Again, it's largely the same. There's just an extra little thing in that you will get like fell fire thingy just slowly descending from the sky. Basically, don't be under it. If you're under it, it does a lot of damage. It leaves behind a puddle, just like the other puddles that occur on that phase. The puddle itself does damage if you stand in it, but I think it's just the same as the other puddles. It's just you don't stand underneath it when the thing is falling, so you just have to be a bit alert to that. But it comes down pretty slowly. It would be pretty difficult, unless you've got your camera zoomed right in, not to notice this thing coming for you. So that shouldn't be difficult. But you can sort of see here, if you look, there's a lot of goo all over the place, so you have to be quite cunning, a bit more cunning than perhaps on Heroic, some people, about minimizing the area you're dropping your shit to try and minimize the amount of room that's going to be taken up with this thing. So yeah, we want to be trying to burst our way through that. That could be the key sticking point, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. I did put the other new mechanics in a post on the forums, but I think if we get to the final phase on Thursday, I mean, bloody hell, we are going to kill it quickly. I don't think that's realistic, but I do want people to have the mindset that actually, if we learn the mechanics very, very quickly and deal with the mechanics and not tunnel the boss or anything stupid like that, that this is the boss where if we're going to make a march on other guilds that have leapfrogged us since Trial of Valor, and we're going to go get some of those places back, this is surely the boss where we have to sort of place our marker down and say, well, this is the boss where we're going to start to do that. Because we'll probably be leaving it too late if we wait till Elisand. If we're still in the position we are now on Elisand, then that's probably going to be the position we are in. But if we can actually put a marker down and go, do you know what, we actually can play better than this, and get through Star Augur quicker than other ones who are currently on it, then we can look ahead to Elisand and then Gul'dan as well. We'll see on Thursday, won't we?